Hey guys, welcome to another project. This is one of my favorite projects simply because of the pattern on the fabric. If you've got a very interesting fabric, this is a project you should make. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with this project. Let's go through what we need to complete this project. Here is our handle. I've already made up my handle like so. This is the zipper panel, and zipper panel again is already made up. If you want to learn how to make this, there's a separate video in the series. Please go and watch it. And this is a slip pocket, which we are going to do like a pleated pocket. With the same pattern, I have cut out 2 panels and I have made a zipper pouch. There is no extra pattern for this. Basically, I've made up out of the same one. The pattern itself says that it has got a fold, and we cut this slip pocket on a fold. That way it opens up and then kind of spreads across the whole of the bag. But without using the fold, I've used the same panel just to make up this zipper pouch. Okay, I'm going to keep this aside. And here is your side pockets. And the side pockets, I have edged binded it with bias binding already. And this is the side panel of the bag. Please notice that there's a notch mark on only one side. And this is the base of the bag. This goes to the base and that goes to the top. The top is slightly narrower than the bottom. And here is the main part of the bag. It says that it has to be cut on fold. So I have cut my lining on the fold. And when I do the cutting for the main fabric, this is a really thick woven fabric. However, because my design is going one way, one of the sides, my design is going to go in the opposite direction. To avoid that, what I have done, I've taken a little bit extra on the sides and on the top. So I'm just going to place it like so. And I'm just going to cut it at the center. You don't need to do this process if you have a even fabric. This print has got the same direction all around. But if you've got anything like I have, then you might have to follow this. Otherwise, just go ahead and cut it on fold and follow from the next process. So we need to attach this. So what I'm going to do is we are going to bring this side here like so, and make sure that this is straight, and we're going to attach a bias binding like so. Underneath we're going to have a little woven interfacing. This will go at the base of the bag. That way we still get the fold kind of fabric, but we don't have to add extra seam allowance here. Here I have the fabric that I have joined in the center, and it's quite flat and I don't have any bulky seams, and this is fitting perfectly to my lining. Okay, so let's go ahead and get on with the rest of the bag. Spread your lining and you will see there are notch marks on the side, so just go ahead and make a mark. Keep your ruler from one notch to the other notch in the center of the notch and just make that marking. What we need to do now is to attach the zipper panel like so. Before attaching your zipper panel, we also need to attach the bias binding. Place your bias binding, the bottom of your bias binding, on the marking, which means we're going to go and sew on the top. So you can see the marking like so, and holding your binding, we're going to go and sew on this side of the binding, just one stitch on this side. This is a 1 inch wide bias binding, and after we've done that, we're going to insert the zipper panel and then bind the other side. We need to go and sew the bias binding exactly the same on both the sides, this side and this side. I'm just going to align my edge of the binding to the marking I have, and just go and sew a stitch. You can also use edge stitching foot if you find it easier. This is the bias binding we have just sewn. Go and measure from the beginning of your panel to the end of your panel, and go and make a center mark, so which is going to be exactly 8.5 inches, just so that we can insert the zipper in the center marking. Now take your zipper panel. Now I have made a center mark for my zipper panel as well. Measure from here to here and do a center mark. Now lift this one up like so, and go and place it like that, and then do a stitching on the other edge of the binding. That way the zipper panel will hold together. Before you go ahead and sew on the other side, you just need to make sure that the zipper panel is the right width. So the finished width of this panel should be about 3 inches. After it's been sewn in, from the edge of the binding to the other edge of the binding, it should measure 3 inches. If it's measuring any more, then you might have to trim this a little bit, probably 1/4 of an inch. Now mine 1.5 inches sitting just a little bit below the binding, so I'm going to go and trim this for about 1/8 of an inch. That way it kind of sits secure. Okay, this is where we have just sewn. Now we're going to bring this to the other side and make sure that the side seams are matching, and the side seams need to be in a straight line. And now go ahead and place it underneath the other side of the binding like so. Pin it, and then we go and sew a top stitch attaching the zipper panel underneath the binding. Also make sure this is 3-inch gap or 7 centimeter wide. Okay, that's how it looks, and as you can see, both the side seams are now matching. So we will go ahead and just open the zip like so, and now we can go ahead and do the rest of the process. Before we go ahead and attach the side panel, we need to attach all the pockets. So let's go ahead and attach the patch pocket. I'm going to place it underneath the zipper like so, not too much inside, just so that the binding is sort of under the zipper tape. And this is going to be a marking. So I'm going to place my ruler and just make a chalk mark. Now we're going to flip this over. Before we go ahead and attach the pocket, just fold it like so and make a center notch mark. At the same time, just go and measure the width of the panel from one edge to the other edge, and that's coming to about 16 inches. So I go and make a center marking like so. And now we're going to go and place the pocket center to center on the straight line and place a pin in the center. Now we're going to go and match the side and place a pin. Same way, we're going to fold this and match the side and place a pin. So there's another notch mark that's already there in your pattern. Go to it like that, and what we're going to do is we're going to make a box pleat. This is called an inverted box pleat, like so, and you'll see this in close-up in a minute. And just place a pin. Basically we're going to center it, make 2 tiny pleats on either side, and it's going to look like a box. Right? We're going to do the same on here as well. That way it's going to give us 3 pockets. Okay, we're just going to go and iron these pleats, so basically it just holds in place as you sew along. Now that we have ironed both the pleats, let's just go ahead and sew a 1/4 inch stitch, starting and finishing with the back stitch. Okay, we have sewn in the stitch like so, and now we're going to go and flip this to the other side. We need to close the side seams, and also we need to go and do a stitch in between this inverted pleat that you can see. So that will create 3 pockets. Okay, first we are sewing an edge stitch. This is only just a 1/8 of an inch stitch. This is not a 1/4 inch because this is going to cover up when we attach the side panel. Let's go ahead and sew a stitch in the center of this inverted pleat. If you want to, you can make a straight marking in between, but it's not necessary because you can see the pleat where it's going. So, okay, same way we go and sew another stitch here and also finish this edge. We have sewn in the 2 stitches in the center of these inverted pleats. We've also attached the sides just with a 1/8 of an inch stitch. Now on the other side we need to go and attach the pocket. Center it, place your pocket where you need to be. Now remember there's a center mark here, that is the center notch mark. The bottom of the pocket needs to be at least 2.5 inches away from the center. It can be further higher than that, but it must be at least 2.5 to 3 inches. So that's well away and that's absolutely fine. So I'm going to go and place a couple of pins and then go and sew, stitch from here to here, and starting and finishing with the back stitch. We don't need to stitch the top because this is going to be a slip pocket and also a zip pocket. I've changed my foot to the edge stitching foot and I'm going to place it, start a little bit further ahead, and then what I'm going to do is then go and do a back stitch like so. And now drop my needle down at the corner and then turn it around. If you're using a black thread like me, then your stitching has to be very neat so it kind of doesn't look homemade, because otherwise you need to use a matching thread there, matching thread here. So turn it over like that, and I tend to give just 1 back stitch at the corner because it just makes it ever so slightly more secure. Okay, so there we have it. There's a patch pocket and also a zipper pocket, and there you have 3 generous pockets. So now let's go ahead and attach the 2 side panels. Now your side panels look like this. There's a notch mark at the bottom of your side panel. Go and place on the notch mark on the center of this panel like so. We're going to start from here and go to the corner and then turn this over and then go and sew this stitch. Once we've finished that, we're going to come back like so, start a little bit away from where we started before, go to this corner and then turn out and then sew like that. Okay, when we do this side we have to sew from the main panel side because you won't be able to sew from here and get it right. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to start a little bit away from the center. There's your notch mark.
Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the project. If you did, leave a comment below and I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching.